Sherdog.com here with former UFC lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez. No one ever likes hearing that former. Let's talk about that loss before we even move on to your next fight. You went into that fight extremely confident. How much did fight week play into it? It was a crazy week, lots of yelling, the press conference was crazy. Did any of that stuff kind of get to you? Did you feel like you lost any kind of focus?
I don't attribute the performance and anything that happened before the fight. I say all the time to everyone, people see me before a fight and maybe I'll be, I don't know what I'm doing, but maybe it's not anything fight related, or maybe I'm with my wife, my kids, and I tell people the same thing. I only need to be focused for 15 minutes or 25 minutes, that's it. I could be completely focused on the fight months leading up, but I step inside the cage, I lose focus for a second and I lose. So it's important, I think, to practice being focused the minute you step foot inside that cage. And I think it's just something that you learn, something that you practice just like you practice a punch. And I think it's something that I went over and over these last couple months. Just when I step into that cage and that octagon and that cage door shuts, competing. Getting back to competing, getting back to being good at competing and having fun.
Tell me about the week after that fight. What was the mental recovery like going back to Philly? You were close to home. You just lost a fight against a guy that you were so confident that you were going to beat, that you were telling everybody this guy's not the real thing.
I mean, I was heartbroken about the fight, but I'm a father and I'm a husband before I'm a fighter. So for me, unlike a lot of these guys who are just fighters, that's all they are, and that's they don't have these other hats that they wear. I'd imagine that it's a little tougher for them than it is for me, because I can always go home and focus on being a father and focus on being a husband. That feels good. So I think the grieving process was less because I have other jobs to do that I can focus on.
Let's talk about your opponent, Dustin Poirier. He's coming off a win off of Jim Miller. What do you make of him moving up to 155? What do you make of him as an opponent for you, style-wise?
I think he's a tough guy. I think he's well-rounded everywhere. He's a sound opponent. I don't know if there's anything like great, and I think his whole career he gets better. He gets better every time out. He's one of them guys. So I'm looking forward to a fight. Usually, when a guy like Dustin gets an opportunity, you know what I mean, they'll come out and they'll fight with a really strong spirit, and I'm looking forward to him. I don't think he's going to leave stones unturned. He's going to cross his T's, dot his I's, and I'm looking forward to the best Dustin Poirier on Saturday. Are
you expecting a firefight with him? When I interviewed him, he kind of had said that he was going to try to finesse this one.
Yeah, look, I've said that in the past, and these things never go the way we expect them ever. So for me to kind of put a prediction out there, be foolish. I'm not a wizard. I'm not a soothsayer. You guys are going to see Saturday. This shit ain't gonna be good, I'll tell you that.
Saturday night, you walk away with a win from Dustin Poirier. What does that mean for you? Where does that put you? I mean, you're still at the top of this division. We don't really know what's going on with the title. Do you feel like that the UFC might need to consider an interim title belt? Do you feel like your name should be one of the combatants in that?
Yeah, I don't care what the UFC does. For me, it's my show. Every time I go out here, UFC gives me that stage, and now it's about what Eddie Alvarez does. How can he compete at a high level? It's not about the UFC per se. So I want to go out there, and it's not about winning. It's about how I win, the manner I do it in. That's gonna say what the future is gonna look like. So that's where my focus is.
But after a loss like your last one, do you feel like there's a rebuilding process for you? Do you feel like there's rungs in the ladder you need to reclimb?
No, maybe you guys do. I don't ever change my mind about myself. I always feel like I'm the best in the world. I always have. Maybe I'm a little bit delusional. Maybe I'm not. People told me that before, and I ended up with the UFC belt. I ended up with a whole lot of other belts when people told me I was delusional. So my mind never changed about myself. I'm not easily swayed about someone telling me I'm not the best in the world. So I'm excited about showing that on Saturday.
Do you feel like this fight makes it all 3 rounds?
No. No. No, I don't. Guys like him, I think he can't run from himself. And sooner or later, himself will come out and expose himself. And I'll do well because of it.